Hey, what's up everyone, Bestinwest here, and for today's video I'm going to be splitting it up into two parts. We're going to go over R6 Racing's Portland Rose Cup tournament run. He finished the amazing 7-1, tying for second with For the Battles, Jingles, and Zayzilla. Now, I already went over Zayzilla's tournament run, and if you haven't already checked it out, For the Battles also posted her tournament up on her channel, so I'll leave a link to that in the description section down below. And congratulations to Wild Susan Boyle. I believe King covered his tournament run, so feel free to check that out. I'll also leave a link to that video in the description section down below. But without further ado, this is R6 Racing's tournament run in Portland. Alright, so we have this setup right here where we have R6's team on the top and we have his opponent's team on the bottom. R6 is going with the Machamp, Alolan Marowak, Golbat, Probopass, Gliscor, Sableye, and what stands out is that he's running two flying Pokemon, but Gliscor is kind of an interesting one because he's flying and ground, so yeah, it's just kind of interesting. His opponent, Camo Hunter, is running Alolan Marowak, Golbat, Blaziken, Drifblim, Clefable, and Probopass. For this first video, we are going to be watching it from Camo Hunter's point of view because R6 Racing did not record this first battle, but after that it'll switch back and we'll watch the rest of his tournament from his perspective. Now, like I mentioned, he did face off against Limon Lime in the 7th round, I believe, and I am not going to be showing that because that was actually streamed, but we'll leave a link to the video in the description section down below. But let's just get straight into the battle. In the first round, R6 Racing versus Camo Hunter. So Camo Hunter leads off with Clefable against a Probopass. So this is a bad matchup for Camo Hunter. So he's looking to switch out, and he switches out into Alolan Marowak. Even this isn't like the best of matchups because Probopass has a slight energy advantage and he decides to take it too. That did a lot of damage. And he gets a Bone Club off, but that's not going to do enough. So R6 is able to Rock Throw him down and knock out that Alolan Marowak very fast. So now he's going to come out and mirror that Probopass. So it's Probopass versus Probopass, but it looks like R6 has an energy lead, gets a Magnet Bomb off, and yeah, Camo Hunter is kind of in a bad situation. He's farming extra energy and gets off a Magnet Bomb right here. That was actually probably a good idea. And knocks out that Probopass. Sends out Gliscor. R6 sends out Gliscor, and Camo goes ahead and uses a Rock Slide. R6 goes ahead and blocks that. Oh man, I can't talk right now. Gets a charge move off. Camo does decide to shield this. It's a Night Slash, so R6 was able to successfully bait that. Camo goes ahead and uses a Rock Slide right here. Would deal neutral damage, probably knock out that Gliscor. Gliscor gets another charge move right here. It's going to be another Night Slash, so double baited. Gliscor getting really low on health, but gets a charge move off right here onto this Clefable. It's an Earthquake and pretty much near knocks him out. Sends out Golbat. R6 sends out Golbat against this Probopass, and this is a bad matchup. But Golbat is able to get to a charge move, and this is a Shadow Ball and knocks out Probopass for the win in the first round. So very well played on R6's point of view. But going into the second battle, R6 leads off with Probopass versus a Drifblim. This is a very positive matchup for R6. And Camel uses Icy Wind to lower that defense and brings out his own Probopass. But that allows R6 to counter switch and hard switch into a Machamp. Probopass is going to get a charge move off, and it's going to be a Rock Slide. Magnet Bomb would have been the correct move, but that's okay. R6 decides to farm down that Probopass, has energy going into this next matchup. Camo sends out Clefable. R6 decides to go ahead and let go of that Rock Slide, which will deal a neutral damage and significant amount of damage as well. Clefable uses a couple charms and knocks out that Machamp. Now I think, oh, he's going into Golbat, so that's actually not what I would have done, but not a bad move nonetheless. Gets a Poison Fang off on this Clefable. Clefable goes ahead and switches into Drifblim. Okay, that actually makes more sense because he knew that Drifblim was in the back. He wanted to have a harder counter with Probopass against that Drifblim rather than put Golbat against the Drifblim. So that's not a bad move. Now Probopass versus Clefable, this is still a positive matchup. Clefable might have a Meteor Mash, but ends up going for Psychic. Not going to matter anyways. He has 2 more shields. That's going to knock out Clefable, and GG for the second battle. So before going into this third battle, it's already 2-0. They're just doing this for I guess like ranking and practice. So like I mentioned, always play that third battle unless you really don't want to battle. You're just over it completely, because I feel like it's an opportunity to grow and learn from your battles and your mistakes. So going into this third battle, R6 decides to lead off with Gliscor. Gliscor gonna deal not very much damage to this Probopass, but Earthquake will pretty much knock out a Probopass in one shot. He goes straight for Earthquake, and if it doesn't shield, that would have knocked out Probopass. So it's kind of a baiting situation. He goes ahead and lets this Rock Slide go, and pretty much this Gliscor is going to go down, but took 1 shield, barely did any damage. Probopass is going to have energy, and he's probably going to go ahead and let go of this Magnet Bomb soon. No, he ends up switching into Alolan Marowak, and R6 decides to counter switch into his Rock Throw Probopass. If I remember correctly, Probopass should win this because it's in a 2 shield situation, so either way Probopass will win this and deal a decent chunk of damage in the meantime. So Alolan Marowak's going to get off second Bone Club, and R6 is going to allow this Shadow Ball actually to go through. R6, yeah, just rock throws him down, has energy going into this next matchup. It's a Probo Mirror, and a charge move is going to come through, except R6 is going to block it. It's a Magnet Bomb, correct move. R6 gets a Magnet Bomb of his own. Gonna deal a decent chunk of damage, switches back into Machamp, and it's Clefable. So this is a terrible matchup for R6. Gets a Rock Slide off, but these charms are just gonna just tear Machamp a new one pretty much. But this is a positive matchup for R6, but not enough HP to go into that Clefable. So so this is the next round, and the next round is going to be against Noisy 14. So I don't have the loading screen information of Noisy, but Noisy is spelled Noizie 14. And yeah, going into this battle, as you see right here, R6 goes ahead and leads off with Probopass against a Clefable. So like down here is Noisy's team. Noisy is running a Medicham, Charizard, Sableye, Haunter, Probopass, and Clefable. So something that's interesting is that you see both Sableye, Haunter. Haunter's kind of gotten less popular as the month has progressed, and another Clefable. So choosing to go Clefable instead of Wigglytuff is kind of interesting. What's really interesting actually about R6's team is that he's not running a Charmer. So he's hoping to beat the Sableye using his other Pokemon, which can be kind of risky, but at the same time he ended up 7-1, so that must have paid out for him. But going into the second round against Noisy 14, Probopass versus Clefable. And this is a positive matchup for Probopass, right? Clefable is probably going to be able to get to a Meteor Mash, but R6 goes ahead and lets go of this Magnet Bomb before and goes unblocked. That's kind of interesting that you charge up that much energy and go unblocked. Sends out Haunter, and Haunter is taking a decent amount of damage from those rock throws. So not sure if letting that Clefable down that fast That easily was a great decision, but R6 goes ahead and uses a rock slide. Haunter goes ahead and blocks it. Haunter is going to get one more charge move off, and it's going to faint pretty much right after it. It's a Shadow Ball. Takes out R6's second shield, but now it's 3 Pokemon to 1, and it's a Charizard. Charizard versus Probopass. Yeah, and it's a Rock Throw Probopass. This is not a good situation for Noisy. This is pretty much GG at this point. He's going to get a charge move off, probably knock out this Probopass, but 2 versus 1 with like 5% HP, yeah, that wasn't going to work out for Noisy, unfortunately. But going into this next battle, Haunter versus Alolan Marowak. This is a bad matchup for R6, but it looks like R6 is staying in it. Going to get this Bone Club off. Gonna probably force a shield from this Haunter, and Haunter is going to get a charge move off right here, and it should be a Shadow Punch and nearly knock out that Alolan Marowak. So Haunter has a little bit of energy going into his next battle. Next Pokemon, it's a Probopass. Probopass opting to just absorb it, and Haunter is trying to get to another charge move, does not. Rock Throw goes ahead and finishes him off first. Medicham comes in, and R6 decides to switch into Sableye. Sableye into Charizard, and even this is still a positive matchup for Sableye. Sableye goes ahead and uses a Foul Play, and a Power Gem will knock out Charizard at this range. Even Foul Play will knock out Charizard at this range. So Charizard gets a Dragon Claw off, but yeah, it's not. He has 2 shields. Goes ahead and uses Power Gem, which will definitely knock out Charizard, who is double weak to Power Gem. Now it's Sableye versus Medicham. Sableye still has a slight advantage in this situation because Foul Play is going to hit Medicham for neutral damage, and also those Shadow Claws are dealing super effective damage to Medicham. He goes ahead and switches straight into his Probopass, which has energy charged up, into the Magnet Bomb, into that Medicham, and knocks it out. GG. So, yeah, that was a great battle against Noisy. Noisy played much better in that round. R6 did a good switching near the end to make sure that Sableye doesn't get knocked out and Medicham doesn't have a charge move going into Probopass, because if so, if it was Dynamic Punch or Power Punch or any kind of punch, may have knocked Probopass out, because Probopass is double weak to fighting. But yes, going into this third battle against Noisy though, it's a Probopass mirror, so it's a Rock Throw versus Rock Throw, so no advantage disadvantage here in terms of moveset. Noisy is going to get off his charge move first. It's going to be a Magnet Bomb. R6 opting to farm a little bit extra, gets a Magnet Bomb of his own off as well. No shields yet. And keep on going. R6 farms up a little bit more, probably got an extra Rock Throw right there. Decides to shield this Magnet Bomb, and he's going to switch into Gliscor. Gliscor going to deal neutral damage with this Night Slash, but Earthquake is definitely going to knock out Probopass if it goes unblocked, but Probopass decides to let that one go, and is going to get a Rock Slide off right here. And switch into a Medicham. That's very interesting, because this Night Slash is going to deal a decent chunk of damage, and those wing attacks are dealing super effective damage. So I'm not sure that was the right move. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Ice Punch, double weak Gliscor takes that Ice Punch and faints instantly. Medicham gets a charge move off right here. It's going to be an Ice Punch, deals decent chunk of damage, but Sableye opting to just faint down that Medicham, switches straight into Probopass with a Rock Slide. I'm not sure if he meant to hit Rock Slide, but it's going to get blocked right there. And his opponent switches back into Probopass, but R6 has some energy charged up, gets this Magnet Bomb and knocks out that Probopass. So it's now Probopass versus Clefable. This Clefable might be able to farm down. Yes, is able to farm down that Probopass. And now Sableye going for that that power jump nearly knocks out Clefable, but Clefable does have a charge move ready. This will knock out this Sableye, and that's GG. So R6 Racing taking that round 2-1, and Noisy coming back and taking that last battle. So Noisy played that really well, made some interesting decisions which I personally would not have made, but it ended up winning him the battle. So what do I know, right? Going into this next round, he is facing off against Maroon Six, who is actually going to be, I'm actually going to be talking to him later on in a different video, and about the Raid 44 tournament that we had this past weekend. So stay tuned for that. But Maroon Six is a great trainer locally from in the Bay Area. So he is running a Wigglytuff, Medicham, Golbat, Probopass, Charizard, and Scrafty. Scrafty is an interesting Pokemon. He's also not running a Sableye, so I feel like Sableye would cause R6 Racing's team to be at a disadvantage. He doesn't have a hard counter to Sableye, but at the same time, he's won the first 2 rounds. So yeah, let's see how R6 is able to handle this next round. Alright, leading off Golbat versus Medicham. This is a positive matchup for Golbat, and switches into Probopass, and R6 doesn't have a hard counter to Probopass but has a Gliscor, so this is kind of a baity situation for Gliscor. He can bait the shields, or he can go straight for Earthquake. Probopass is going to get another charge move off, Rock Slide, and this Probopass is running Spark, it looks like. R6 opting to go ahead and bait with the Night Slash. Maroon 6 does have to go ahead and shield that. Gets another charge move off right here though. It's another Rock Slide, nearly knocking out Gliscor. Gliscor going straight for the Earthquake, hoping to burn the shield, but honestly really trying to knock out that Probopass. Gets a shield advantage, loses the switch advantage. Maroon opts to switch into his own Medicham, which is kind of interesting. That mirror probably would have played out better than this matchup right here. Shadow Ball to the face, because Maroon has no more shields. Maroon goes ahead and gets a charge move off right here. It's an Ice Punch, would have dealt super effective damage, but probably would not have knocked out Golbat at that HP. Now, Maroon sends out Wigglytuff versus Golbat, and this is not a positive matchup for Wigglytuff. Takes super effective damage from that Poison Fang. Those charms are chunking away slowly, but Golbat is resisting it. Golbat getting another Poison Fang off and dealing super effective damage. Double switch, I think. No, knocks it out, and Probopass mirror. R6 gets a Magnet Bomb off on that other Probopass, and Maroon's Probopass gets a Magnet Bomb, I suspect, back onto R6's Probopass. And Maroon 6 is going to be able to keep on getting these Magnet Bombs off on R6, but R6 is able to get to another Magnet Bomb before Maroon is able to knock out this Probopass. So I believe, yeah, Maroon 6 has to use this charge move, otherwise his Probopass will faint. He is not able to faint him down, but yeah, this Golbat is able to knock out that Probopass with a couple more wing attacks. So there goes the first battle. 1-0 in favor of R6. Going into the second battle, we just saw it right there. Maroon goes ahead and leads off with Charizard against a Probopass. Very, very bad matchup, especially since R6's Probopass is running a Rock Throw, which deals double super effective damage. Maroon switches into Medicham, and R6 goes ahead and counters that Medicham with a Alolan Marowak. Maroon decides to go with Psychic, and R6 is baiting with this Bone Club. gets the bait and keeps on going. He gets to a Shadow Ball before Medicham is able to get to another charge move. And Maroon Six opts to just let that Medicham go. So in comes Charizard. Charizard going to be dealing not very effective damage. Fire spins, and Alolan Marowak also not going to be dealing much damage with those fire spins. Switches into Probopass. So in this Probopass mirror, Maroon 6's Probopass does have an advantage because it's running Spark. Gonna get to those Magnet Bombs much faster than the Rock Throw Probopass. So I suspect that Maroon 6 is going to win this mirror match, but it's going to take a decent chunk of damage going down. So Maroon 6's Charizard is going to be pretty safe after this. It's going to get gonna knock out this Probopass, and in comes Machamp. Yep. And a Rock Slide. So that wasn't the right move, but he had to go ahead and use it right away. A little bit of lag from this, but this, yeah, Alolan Marowak gets a Shadow Ball off, and Charizard gets his charge move off right after. It's going to be a Dragon Claw. Knocks out that Alolan Marowak, but against this Machamp, yeah, Charizard is just too squishy. And against this Probopass, yeah, Machamp is just going to wreck this Probopass, and GG. So that will do it. R6 Racing taking that round 2-0, and they're just going to do the third battle. But R6 Racing on a roll so far, doing extremely well. Let's see how he does in this third battle against Maroon 6. Gliscor versus Probopass. Again, it's a very baity situation. If he lands that Earthquake, it's a one-shot. If he doesn't, then Probopass will slowly beat down on that Gliscor. Gliscor opting not to shield that first one, goes straight for the Earthquake, burns that shield, and it looks like Gliscor is trying to get to a second Earthquake. If I remember correctly, Gliscor does not get to a second Earthquake unless he shields twice. Yes, so yes, he does shield twice. And Maroon 6 opts to switch into Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff taking not very effective damage from that Night Slash, and R6 responds with a Golbat, which is going to deal super effective damage with these Poison Fangs. Yeah, just does so much damage to that Wigglytuff. A little bit of lag right here, but I don't think it's going to change the outcome of this battle. Wigglytuff able to get an Ice Beam off, knocks out that Golbat. Let's see what R6 decides to come back in with. Decides to come back in with, with Gliscor, double KO, Probopass, and Maroon 6 has a Medicham. So this game, this battle is pretty much over. Medicham's just going to counter down, and R6 isn't even throwing a charge move. But luckily for R6, he already won the round and is currently 3-0, doing extremely well. But Maroon was able to steal one battle off of that set. So this next round is against Philly Eevee. He is running a Charizard, a Wigglytuff, a Machamp, an Alolan Marowak, Sableye, and a Rhyperior. So this is where I'm very interested to see how R6 deals with that Sableye, because Sableye is not hard countered by anything on R6's team. So Sableye can kind of run free. It's a pretty safe switch no matter what Philly Ev runs. So I'm very curious as to what he does. Maybe it's the Gliscor. Gliscor can cause some problems, at least like with the Earthquake, Night Slash, shield baiting situation. But yes, let's see how he does. Alright, jumping right into it, it's going to be Probopass versus Charizard. And Charizard is not a good Pokemon. He switches into a Alolan Marowak, which is kind of interesting. Gets faced off against Gliscor. So if I remember correctly, this is not a good situation for Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak taking super effective damage from those Night Slashes. It's gonna go ahead and let this Bone Club go, and Gliscor is going to go ahead and shield it. It's gonna get to another Night Slash, and this is going to knock out Alolan Marowak if it goes unshielded. It gets shielded, and Alolan Marowak is going to get a charge move off. It should be a Shadow Ball this time, yes, but Gliscor is just going to farm down this Alolan Marowak. Waiting for the switch clock to run down. Gliscor gets a Night Slash off on this Charizard right here. Deals a decent chunk because Charizard is just squishy. Gets another Night Slash off. Man, if he doesn't block this, this is pretty much over for Charizard. He does block it. Gets a charge move off right here. I'm expecting a Dragon Claw. No more shields on R6's side, but Sableye comes in with that Best Buddy badge against this Alolan Marowak. Now this is interesting that R6 would bring Alolan Marowak in against the Sableye, because this Foul Play is going to deal a decent chunk of damage, and then he's going to go but he does get this Shadow Ball off, and this Shadow Ball is going to deal neutral damage to the Sableye and deals a huge chunk. It's only Charizard versus Probopass now, and yeah, GG. So that was actually pretty surprising, how R6 knew that he was going to be able to get to a Shadow Ball unshielded on a Sableye. So I think bringing in Sableye as a safe switch would have been a better decision. As we saw in Zay's tournament, he utilized that Sableye safe switch much better, you know. Having that shield is a huge deal, especially going up against an Alolan Marowak, because that Shadow Ball is still going to hurt a lot. But those Shadow Claws from Sableye are going to hurt Alolan Marowak consistently, right? So yeah, that was very interesting to see how R6 was able to deal with that Sableye not having a Charmer on his team. So going into this second battle against Filiev, it's Machamp versus Probopass. So Machamp has the lead. Switch. So it's a Alolan Marowak mirror, but I think R6 has an energy advantage. He's gonna go for the shield bait right here with the Bone Club, and he does not get the bait. Wow. Okay. So, and Filiev decides to try to bait as well. So now R6 going for another bait with the Bone Club, and he gets the bait this time. And Filiev going to go with another charge move. R6 decides to shield it and gets baited as well. Filiev going for another charge move, and it's going to get blocked. It's another Bone Club, so got double baited, but R6 is going straight for the Bone Club as well. Gets blocked as well, but he has two Bone Clubs, so back-to-back Bone Clubs. This Bone Club is going to knock out his opponent's Alolan Marowak, but in comes Sableye. Sableye is going to be able to farm down. Oh no, there was a little bit of lag there. Not sure if it's going to matter, but Sableye not able to farm down that Alolan Marowak. Does get Bone Club off. Let's see if that small chip damage matters in the end. In comes Probopass. Those rock throws are dealing a decent chunk of damage. So now Sableye versus Machamp. Machamp's going to deal a decent chunk of damage to the Sableye. Rock Slide going into Sableye. Sableye is going for the Power Gem. Interesting. I'm not sure that's the correct move. Not very effective damage. Machamp's going to get a charge move off, knock out this Sableye. The Sableye is going to faint to a Rock Slide. I think Cross Chop would have knocked out that Sableye, but I don't think it would have mattered. Sableye is going to get off a Foul Play, and yep, Probopass is able to get to that Rock Slide, and this Rock Slide will knock out this Sableye, and GG. So that was a very interesting play out of the scenario. There was a decent amount of shield baiting in that Alolan Marowak mirror. yeah, it's a very interesting setup. If you get led up against a Alolan Marowak mirror, you have to just hope that you don't get baited, or you just consistently go Bone Club. That way and just block everything, right? You already committed to those two shields. So very interesting how Sableye with no shields deals with R6's team. Those nukes, well, not even nukes, but those charge moves. If Sableye can't take those charge moves, Sableye is relatively squishy, takes neutral from a ton of things, including Rock Slide. Those counters were doing a decent amount of damage as well. But going into this last battle of this first part of the video, yeah, let's see if Filiev is able to take one battle from R6 Racing. Oh, yep, it's going to be Rhyperior versus Probopass. So Rhyperior does have the significant advantage right here. R6 deciding to stay in for a little bit, and now this is a positive matchup for Sableye. So Filiev making the hard counter switch against Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is going to go ahead and get off a Shadow Ball, probably burning a shield right here is my guess. No, Sableye decides to take it, and so now the tables have turned. R6 taking the advantage, taking the switch advantage at the cost of a shield. But in comes Rhyperior, but is going to eat a Shadow Ball if it goes unshielded. Luckily, it does get shielded, but with a switch advantage, in comes Gliscor, and is going to go ahead and eat a charge move. But R6 decides to shield that Surf. That Surf would have dealt significant amount of damage. Now this is interesting. Alolan Marowak versus Gliscor. Gliscor is going to deal a super effective damage with that Night Slash, and this charge move right here, Bone Club, deals a ton of damage to that Probopass, but Probopass does have a charge move ready, gets that Rock Slide off, knocks out that Alolan Marowak. Rhyperior versus Probopass, one Mud Slap, it's gone. Rhyperior does have energy for a charge move. Surf deals super effective damage, but I don't think that's going to be enough. But he gets to another charge move, and this will be enough. So Filiev taking the third battle of that fourth round. So again, R6 Racing going 2-0, taking all the pressure off on that third battle, and Filiev being able to take one out of those three. So that's the first four battles, first 4 rounds of R6 Racing's tournament. Very interesting so far to see how he's dealt with Sableye in this tournament. I think that Gliscor is really coming in big, and also somehow maneuvering himself so that Sableye has no shields. Sableye with no shields is kind of a weak target. Like it can't take too many charge moves. So yeah, it's very interesting so far. But that'll do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video of R6 Racing's tournament. And yeah, till next time guys, this is Bestinwest. I'll catch you guys later.